Hi guys, Ryuu here with another vid for Blender. This one we're gonna be designing sniper rifle concept. So it's not for beginners, but if you're a beginner you can still stick around and see. Probably gonna learn something interesting just by watching. However, if you're a beginner, then you probably should be watching our free course, which is called Jumpstart Hard Surface in Blender. That's a good place to start learning Blender. It's most likely the easiest and the fastest way to get into hard surface, because we will teach you all the foundations, the tools, the UI, the basics of modeling hard surface, etc. in just a few hours. And like I said, the course is free, so go ahead, grab the link in the video description and enjoy. So let's grab a cube, Shift A and cube. And first, we need to block this thing out, okay? So we need to get the rough shape of it. We're going to extrude it on y-axis, so SY, and make it maybe that long. And grab another cube, right? And send it somewhere here, and make it larger, maybe that large, and just move it somewhere here. And this actually could be one mesh, to be honest, so maybe we're just gonna extrude this one a bit longer, so GY, maybe something like that. There we go. And then we can just drop a loop here, so we'll go to edit mode. And by the way, I'm using machine tools to go to edit mode, pressing tab and just simply, moving my mouse and switching, right? So edge mode, Shift R to add a loop, and GG, and move it somewhere here, maybe somewhere here. Okay, and drop this one down, so GZ, and whoa, extruded E, extrude it down like this. We're gonna actually move this one a bit, so to the side like this, so it's actually angled here. We're gonna angle this one as well, but before we do that, we're gonna apply scale. So Control A and apply scale, and go to edge mode and select this edge here in the bottom, and Control B and do something like this. And we're going to move this edge a little bit to the front, so GY, and move it to the front, so it's a bit more aggressive of an angle. Okay, this one could be a little bit more deep here, and this one could be a little bit longer, so GY and a bit longer. Okay, something like this. And of course it's gonna be a scope on the top, so not a cube, it's gonna be a scope here, kind of a thing. And maybe something here as well, so let's just move this one to the front, so somewhere here, and just let's extrude this one up, scale it on y-axis, and drop the scope somewhere here. Okay, something like this. Maybe it's a little bit too tall, so we're gonna squash it a bit, like that. This one is too big, so should probably a bit narrower, something like this. Okay, cool. This one is a bit too deep as well, so we're gonna go to Alt W, sorry, to open the box cutter, and we're going to cut this one a bit lower like that. I think this should do. Okay. All right. So now we're going to cut the middle part here out, and we're gonna design, handle and all these things. So let's create something like this here. We're gonna fix this angle in a minute. So do something like this, and let's cut it through. Grab this one and let's align this angle here. Okay, so GY and just align it more or less. Now let's grab F scroll and grab this cutter in the middle, and we're going to cut it. So cut it with an angle like this. So this is gonna be the opening for the handle, and then this one's a bit too big, so in fact we're going to move this one. So select this cut in the middle, F scroll the cut that cuts the cutter, right? And we're just going to move this a little bit, somewhere here. This can't be too big because it's it's a handle, so it can't be too thick, right? Maybe something like that. That will do. And we're going to cut this one here So grab this cutter, this one in the middle, and cut it like this here. Okay, so there's gonna be a trigger opening. This one is for the fingers, right? So that's cool. And this one is way too big, so we're gonna make it a bit smaller, yeah? So we're gonna slice it in here. Don't need that. I'm gonna slice it in here. Don't need that. You know, that will do. Something like that. Cool. Now let's align these angles so they're gonna be nice and aligned. So I have a scroll. And I want this cutter. And we're going to actually move this this edge a bit to the top, this one. Oh, it's not applied yet. Okay, so let's apply this. Operation Smart Apply. Let's grab this cutter here, I mean this edge, and move it a little bit up. So it more or less aligns with this edge here. So we got these angles kind of aligned, okay? This trigger could be, well, I think that's okay. We can round these corners a little bit, and I think it's gonna be fun. This one could be a little bit less cornerish, so we could just do something like this maybe. Okay. There we go. Maybe it's a bit too deep, so let's have a scroll. This one and rotate it a little bit like that. Move it somewhere here. I think this will do. Okay. Cool. In fact, what we could do, instead of doing this, we could actually chamfer this one. So let's apply the cutters. So operations Smart Apply. And then we can grab this corner here, which by the way has some unnecessary verts. So press 3 with machine tools once, it should remove them. And we're going to chamfer it. So let's go to side view and see how we're looking. We could also corner it like this, but I think chamfering is gonna be better. So do something like this, and maybe this is not ideal. Okay, so now we're gonna cut this corner here with an end gun like this to create kind of like a you know, resting place for the for this kind of a spot on the hand between the thumb and the index finger. This is all too thick, but you know, we're gonna fix it in a minute. So anyway, this should be, by the way, all done separately in my opinion. So what we're gonna do is, I think we will drop this thing a little bit lower. So all of it should be a little bit lower, maybe somewhere here like this, right? So this bit is actually on its own. This could be a little bit higher, this cut. So we're going to separate this cut, okay, like this, right? And cut it one more time, difference, and then move it up. And we have to apply this cutter to the cutter. So operation Smart Apply, and now we can move it up, okay? So we're gonna move it up a little bit, maybe somewhere here, like this, okay? Cool. And then what we need to do is make sure that this bit here is separate. So let's slice the this bit here like that, okay, with X, and we can cut this one as well. So we're gonna cut it like this, maybe here, or maybe this one will do like this, okay? And let's apply this, and then we're going to move this one a little bit forward, okay? So grab both of them and GY and move them a little bit forward, just a little bit. And this one we're going to slice like this, right? Apply it, make it bigger, okay? And move it backwards. So GY and move it somewhere here. And we're going to cut it, okay? So I'm gonna cut it like this, right? In fact, we could just maintain the angles here. So cut it like this, and so these angles match. And this one's a little bit too high, so we need to, you know, maybe do something like this. Okay, cool. And then we can do something like this here. So this rifle's a little bit thinner at the end. And maybe something like this. And sharpen it. Okay, cool. Okay, let's apply a bevel here. So we got a better shape. And weighted normals. Alt click on sharpen. Same here. So bevel and weighted normals. And bevel and weighted normals. So the shape reads a bit better with a bevel. Alright guys, so let's make this a bit more narrow because I think it's a bit too wide. So we're going to grab both of them and SX and kind of scale it a little bit like that. Maybe even a bit more. Just a bit more like this. That's cool. Okay. And this scope needs to be smaller as well because at the moment it's mental. So let's make it a bit smaller, put it somewhere here, maybe like this, or maybe even like that. We could create some cool shape here as well. So grab an end gun and maybe slash it like this, you know, or something. Boom, right? And this could be like this, or maybe not. Something like that. That's a pretty cool shape. I'm not quite sure about this yet, but you know, we will work this out. So anyway, you know, these shapes need to be fixed because, you know, no one's gonna be able to hold it like that. It's just a bit too uncomfortable. But don't worry about it. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna be refining this later on. Let's work a bit on this handle then, and let's cut some more shapes in here. So I think what we need to do is select these bits here and maybe even all of them. Okay, and shift click on curve extract and do something like this. And now what we can do is literally cut it. So we're going to grab an end gun and simply slice it. So slice it here like this and slice it here like this. We're gonna move it a little bit to the right. So grab the, in fact, you know what, this is pretty cool actually. Maybe we could leave it like that. So let's go to modifier and solidify this a little bit less like this. And what we need to do is actually make sure that this handle curves. In fact, you know what, yeah, we're gonna cut it a little bit deeper. So have a scroll, right, and move this one a little bit, you know, in until it cuts it. Okay, so then we can actually sharpen this. So what we're gonna do with this, we're gonna clean it, okay, with hard ops. Go to operations and clean mesh, and this should clean all the problems here. And then we need to reduce the bevel because it's insane. And we're going to curve these two. Okay, so let's curve them like this and bevel them, and we're gonna get a curvy sort of a hand here. And we could actually extend it a little bit this to the left. So select this bevel and GY and just move it a little bit here like this. Okay, so it kind of matches this part here. And we're going to cut this handle a bit. It's too long, so we're gonna make it smaller or shorter. So select this and cut it somewhere here. Maybe somewhere here. And let's just move it up a bit. So GZ and, you know, somewhere here. That's cool. And we're going to cut it in here as well. So let's grab an angle and maybe, you know, do something like this. So boom, right? Let's make it a bit more flat. So SX and scale it on X a little bit. Move it outside somewhere here and copy to the other side. So here. And we're gonna copy this to the other side. So select this one, and Press X to reset it and copy to the other side. So that will work. Cool, it's still I think a bit too wide, so what we could do is move these in, okay? So move them literally in here and make them a little bit wider. So grab this one and G, Y and move it here like this, and then move it this way like this. So it kind of encompasses this bit here. And then we could grab this one in the middle and, you know, shift curve extract up, and we're gonna have to cut it. So go to the top view and Alt Z to enter a next remote, and we can cut it here like this. Boom, right? And then, you know, simply mirror this to the other side and sharpen Alt Z, and you're gonna get this bit in the middle. It's a little bit too narrow, so we can just expand it on x-axis or s-axis and do something like this. We can create some kind of a, I don't know, groove in here, whatnot. And this one, yeah, this one is needs a bit of work, so we're going to actually move it a little bit outside here like this. Well, this one could be a bit wider as well. So SX and a bit wider. And we're gonna have to fix this because it's a little bit ugly, so we will think how to fix it in a minute. Probably gonna make it a bit more narrow. So what we're gonna do is grab a cut, probably an angle, and do something like this and cut it in. And grab this edge here and move it on y-axis, and we could, you know, sort of chamfer this one or bevel this one like this. This bevel here is insane, so we're gonna make it smaller. Okay, so it's a little bit less insane. This is pretty cool. We can, you know, copy it to the other side, so it's actually mirrored. That's awesome. This is still sticking out, but what we're gonna do is do the same thing here. So we're literally gonna run an angle here like this. Okay, down to the bottom here. Actually, let's draw it like this. So it's gonna be fun. So let's cut it in here, maybe a little bit lower. So maybe somewhere here and here, and cut it in a bit deeper. In fact, we're gonna remove this one. So the previous boolean, so I think it's this one. Yeah, let's remove this, and we're gonna actually use this one. Okay, so GY, move it here, grab this one, GY, do something like this, and we can actually keep it as an angle, you know, that's cool. Angled one is okay. All right, so do that. And it's a little bit too deep, so we're gonna move it outside a bit, so, you know, so it kind of touches this bit here, and that's cool. Now here we need to fix this as well, so we're gonna run a cut here, like this, and here, and we can cut it. Oh no, this one. There we go. Here and here, and cut it through. And then we're going to adjust it, so I have a scroll and grab this face here and move it up a little bit. Okay, grab this one, move it up here, grab this whole thing, right, and move it up somewhere here. Okay, perfect. This one should be a little bit lower, so I'm gonna fix this later. Okay, so let's save this. Let's see how we're doing. This one could be cut a little bit here, like this. It's gonna be more interesting. Okay, far more interesting. Cool. Now the trigger, this is gonna be easy. We're just gonna add a cube. Or in fact, you know what we can do is grab this one here and extend it down like this. Not this. Grab this face here and extend it down. Shift click on curve extract. And we're gonna sharpen this. We're gonna grab this edge here in GY and move it here. We're going to cut this like that and extend this down. So GZ and move it down like this and here. And it's gonna be our trigger. So sharpen this, SX, Shift S and move the origin to Geo, and then SX and scale it a bit. We're gonna leave it for now. We're gonna fix it later. We're still blocking out, so it's okay. Okay, now let's have some fun with this barrel here. So what we wanna do is, I think, cut it in the middle like this, right? With a knife, okay. Then we need to connect these for sure. So press K for knife, press C, and then click and press E so you can actually continue cutting. So cut down here, E, cut up here, E, cut up here, whoa. Press enter to apply this. And let's just remove this one and do it manually here one more time. C and cut. It's a bit fiddly, but what you're gonna do. Same here, so just press C, come on, K and C, then E, and cut here, and we should be fine. And now what we need to do is Shift S and origin to Geo, Alt X, the symmetry, and symmetrize to the other side. That didn't really work very well, but we're going to select this one with Shift, Alt X, X to reset the mirror, and mirror. And this should work, and now we're going to actually select this one and smart apply. And this will apply the knife, symmetry, and everything. We don't really need these lines, so we can remove them, okay? Alright, so now what we can do is grab this one, okay, hold this whole piece and move it outside a bit. So, in fact, we need two more lines, guys. We need a line here, two more lines here, I think. So we need a line here, okay, so K, C, and click, and you need to make sure that these two are on the same level. So what we're gonna do is select this face, go to vert mode, which is select all the verts. Select this one with Shift, Alt A, and top, which will move this face and align it with this one. So press J, and here the same thing, press J. And we can just simply move this origin to Geo again. That didn't work very well, so what we're gonna do is select these two faces, or in fact maybe these two faces, okay, and then we're going to move it to Geo. So move it to face, which should move it to the middle, and then we're gonna symmetrize it. Everything should be peachy. There we go, that's better. So now select this these faces with Control, then GX, and move them outside until they snap. So there's a nice angle here, and we got this kind of a cool shape. All right. Awesome. So that's that, and now we can have some more fun here. So let's select this one and extrude it on Y, extrude it here, and we're going to slice it with the same angle as this cut on the bottom, so it kind of corresponds like this. Okay, cool. And all right, that's awesome. And now we're going to slice this top bit. So what we need to do is slice it in here like this and like this. Okay, that didn't work for some reason, which is weird. So we'll do it again like this, and let's just slice it like that. Perfect. So what's going on here? Fascinating. Let's just apply everything. And let's see what's going on here. Let's just remove this one. So dissolve edges, and this one should be here, and this one, yeah, that's fine. Okay, Okay. And what's going on here? Press 3 to clean it up with machine tools, and perfect. So now we're gonna symmetrize it to the other side. Oh, basic symmetry, there we go. Cool, now this one is a little bit too thin in my opinion, so we might actually make it a bit more thick. You know, the best way to do this would be to simply make a knife cut here, like this. Okay, so with a box. And select these two, or in fact this entire face. So let's extrude it with Alt-E and manifold extrusion on Y-axis this way, which doesn't really work very well, to be honest. So we're gonna align these two like this, and these two like this, and then we're going to flatten this according to this one. So flatten with, that didn't work. Fine. So we're gonna do this differently. Let's just simply slice it and enjoy our life. Okay, so let's just grab a slice and simply end on this, you know, so it's actually even. Okay, I can't be bothered fixing this. Now there's a face in the middle which we're gonna have to clean. So we're gonna do is simply run clean mesh, and that's that. And this, let's just remove this one. Now we got some faces in the middle, so what you can do is you could go to see these faces in the middle after extrusion. We could probably do this way by deleting, or we can go to 3D print toolbox, which is not installed. Yeah, it's here, and go to cleanup and make manifold. It's an Blender native add-on, so you can go here and simply, you know, install it. 3D print toolbox, this one. Okay, it's really cool for cleaning non-manifold stuff, and then you can run all these machine tools as well if you want to, but you can see that it's taking care of this. These edges are still here and they're really not necessary. There we go, that's better. Let's just sharpen this, and you know, and mesh is clean, right? Perfect. Okay, cool. So let's save this and we can move on. Let's collapse this with N. Now this one could be a little bit more interesting here. We could just you know, drop some notches in here, or in fact what we could do is run the what you call them, inset like that, which will look good. We could do an outset in here. Let's cut it like this, alright, or even like this. This could be interesting. Let's try this, and then simply shift pull and maybe make it a bit thicker. Okay, a bit thicker, so the bevel kind of sticks out. How we looking? It's a bit better, you know, but okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to use this one as a knife. Okay, so this one still works, I think, as a cutter. Let me see that. Let's go to booleans and knife. So we're gonna get this one here, and what we can do is select all these faces, right? Instead of creating an outset, what we're gonna do is we're going to, whoa, okay then. What we're going to do is we're going to panel this. So go to Q and shift click on curve extract, which is basically the same thing. However, the difference is that now this one is a separate, you know, separate object, which means we can very easily, what's wrong with the shading here? It's bent. Let's select this face here and SX0 on x-axis, same here, SX0 on x-axis, and now it should work fine. Oh, there are no weighted normals. That's the problem. Okay, I was wondering what the hell is going on. So let's set these up properly. There we go, now you're talking. Okay, so I think that's a bit better, because now what we can do is we can, you know, we can slice it. So we can slice it like this here. So one more time. Slice it here, and you know, slice it here. Like this. I think it's a little bit better. This one could be a bit deeper though, so I have a scroll. Not this one, the other one. That's the one. Wait a minute. One more. There should be one more. There we go. A GY maybe somewhere here. So it kind of sticks out a little bit here outside this this thing. This could be chamfered here, so it kind of falls into it, if you know what I mean. It's gonna be a bit better. A bit more of a readable shape. The top here should be much thicker in my opinion, so what we're gonna do is actually do something like this, press K and slice it. And then we're gonna grab the top here, right? And do the same thing, so we're gonna simply panel this out, okay? We don't need the front here, we just need the top. So in fact, you know what, let's grab this one as well. And then shift click on curve extract and do something like this. And sharpen. And then we're going to work with our angles. So cut and see how we're looking here. That's pretty cool, but the angle should be, you know, kind of repeated here like this. Not this one, this one. Boom, like that. And then this one is cool. It could be, actually it can be overlapping, that's cool, but we're gonna make it straight, okay? So something like this. So there's a gap in here, it's gonna, I think, look a bit more interesting. Let's introduce some weighted normals and fix it to 100 and change to affected. This will always flex the faces to the maximum, which is what we need. The scope here is now kind of lost in translation, but we can always, you know, reposition it here somewhere if you wanted to. Now it's a little bit too far, to be honest, so what we could do is we have to move it closer like this. Well, this would actually work like that, so this could be like a scope mounting here. So move it down maybe like this, right? And sort of cut it here. See what I mean? So the scope is kind of mounted on top of it. Okay. Well, we're slowly getting somewhere. Alright, so this trigger could be, you know, a bit of a more interesting shape. Maybe like this. I think it will be much more interesting. There you go. And it could be also sliced a little bit here. So a bit sliced in. Just a little bit. So GX and just move it in a bit. Bevel is insane, so we're gonna make it smaller. There we go. Okay, cool. And we need some weighted normals there too. Awesome. So that's that. And let's create some paneling here as well. So we're gonna create something like this. And maybe here, like this. Press K to slice it. And we're going to drop weighted normals here to, what the hell is this? There is lack of, is this a shadow? What the hell is that? Let's switch this to angle, to weight, sorry, and this should fix the problem. There you go, the angle was simply not sharp enough. So when the angle is too shallow, you need to switch your bevel method to from angle to weight. And since we run B weight on, or bevel weight edges on all these angles, because edges, because we don't run sharps, we run bevel weight. That's why I can flex it very easily. So now let's turn off the box cutter with W, because sometimes it messes up things in edit mode. Let's select this part here. We could mirror this, but we can actually do it manually. That's cool. Let's go to this mode here so we can see what we're doing. And we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to simply panel this out like this. Alright. And we're going to cut this here like this. So D and cutter and Let's just slice it straight, it's okay. We're gonna extend it later on, so slice it and sharpen it. Now we got this paneling on top, which is awesome. And, you know, we're gonna have some fun with this. So, over here, go to object mode, select this one, and if it's misaligning, okay, go to Shift V and change to longest edge, and this should fix the problem. Now there is something not right in here with this shape. What is going on here? Wait, no, almost there we go. That was missing. Boom. That's that. And now we can run this one. This face here is not straight. SX0, there we go. And neither is this one actually. So SX0, boom. And we need to cut this one here as well because it's not even. So D and gone, and we're just gonna slice it here like that, right? Come on. Press E and sharpen. Boom. Alright, now let's go back to box and let's try this again. There we go, now you're talking. Let's bevel this with B, V, X. So it's gonna be a rate, and we can do something like this, and you can shoot it through, that's fine. It's gonna create this kind of a shape, which is cool. And we can move it to the front a bit, okay? So have a scroll and move it somewhere here. Up a bit, and you know, we could chamfer this a bit as well, but we can do it later. So okay, that's cool. Let's sharpen this because I think I'm happy with this one. Let's grab this bit here and let's have some fun here. So that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to cut it here and move it through. Press X 3 times and inset it. There you go. Let's go to front view, and this is really thick, by the way. Still, I think, I'm not sure if it's still not too wide, you know. So select everything, and let's go to Shift S and cursor to select it. Switch pivot here to cursor and SX and scale on cursor. It's going to scale, you know, everything towards the middle, which is what we want, just a little bit more. So it's not too wide. This could be more vertical, there we go, than horizontal, so that's better. What we need to do now is grab an N-gon, and maybe we could just do something like this for fun. How this will look, maybe not the best idea. Actually, what we could do maybe instead is, let's apply this boolean here, select these two and move them a little bit in front. And maybe chamfer this one like this, and then go to the front view and let's just maybe create two openings here, bevel this, allow this, and T for solidification, and solidify it quite a bit. Shift to click shift to shift it to live, and I think, you know, we might actually move this to the other side because everything is mirrored from left to right. So if we do this, should work. Reset the mirror so it's not set to symmetry by pressing X, and we can just remove these. Let's just apply them. Right, so we got this going on. And we need some cuts in the middle anyway, so what we're gonna do is, you know, cut this one here, and B, and we're gonna move it again here, because I forgot it's supposed to be from left to right. More or less in the middle, okay. You could use this snapping tool if you wanted to, so we could turn it on for more precision. And you need to switch to object, cannot be in view mode, and select this bit and hold control. You can see, and I can draw things in here. Let's just change the local, and you can draw something like this, and you can just cut it Press B for the bevel. Bevel's a bit too big, but what we're gonna do is shift it to live and adjust the bevel here. So that's that, and mirror this, and boom, and this should do. Select them both in edit mode, Control LP, and it's gonna be an object, and move it outside just to create a bit more interest, like this. Okay, so we can move it outside somewhere here, and we can slice it with Angon or whatever. So it's actually straight here, but it's gonna sort of cut in here, which is interesting, basically. All right, this could be also cut just for fun. There we go. Now let's talk about a scope. Scope is a little bit narrow, so maybe we can make it a bit more wide like this, and then we could chamfer these on both sides like that, and we could also chamfer this. So let's go to face mode and press Ctrl Q. Now if this doesn't work for you, what you need to do is actually enable the shortcut. So go here, align view, and right click and change shortcut to whatever you want. I have it on Ctrl Q. Ctrl Q normally is to quit Blender, but you can remove this shortcut here by going to preferences, key map, type here quit, and simply press on X on quit Blender and then change the shortcut. So once you select the face, Ctrl Q, you can hold Shift, Control or Alt and scroll your mouse to adjust your view. And what I want is this, so Control scroll and Shift scroll till I get here, and now I can actually make some cuts. So I'm gonna go to Alt W, grab a box and cut it like this, and this is gonna cut the chamfer here. Now I'm going to move this a little bit further, so F scroll, right, and move it here until it meets this part here and sharpen, right. So now I can come here and sharpen this, and I can make sure that the bevel is set to weight and that these corners here are combined. So combine this one and select these two and this one, Alt A, and move them so this is actually aligned properly. And then we can actually press D. So Alt X D symmetry and symmetrize to the other side. We need to make sure though that this one is sorted out. So select these two verts here. I think there are two verts in here. Press 3 with machine tools, that's gonna clean it. There you go, so you don't have to worry about it. Shift 2 to hide it, and this scope could be actually a little bit more interesting, and by more interesting I mean we could select these faces here, okay, and move them further away here, and then this whole scope actually could be sort of angled. So maybe grab these two and move them further here like this, maybe even more, so it kind of corresponds with this angle here. And then we can cut the top here like this, so it's kind of interesting. Shape, we could actually cut it here, so select the scope and cut it like this, and maybe like this, and then K with a knife and move it outside. But before we do that, we need a line here, so press K for knife, C, and drop it in here like that. We don't need these, so remove them, and this should do. So GX and move it outside till it snaps, kind of snaps, sharpen, and we're gonna have to fix this one here, so we could remove this by dissolving this edge, and we got this kind of a cool shape here, which is interesting. This one is a bit too shallow, so we can move it backwards. Alright, or in fact we could sort of match it here, so Alt A left, yeah, and chamfer the top like this. How are we looking? Yeah, well, this could also be sliced, to be honest, so in the same fashion. So sliced here, so it follows the angle. Sharpen. Let's apply the mirror here. So operations, multiply, select this, and we can insert it with I, like this, and then extrude it on the y-axis, and SY0, boom, right? And then you have something like this. We can move it a little bit deeper here, so GY, move it here, and sharpen this, and we're gonna have, you know, kind of a scope thing. So we can cut it in here like this with a knife. Select this bit, and you know, you can just macro this, or you can shift curve extract and apply it. We can extrude it on shift, well, not shift D, shift S and to geo and SY, and move it somewhere here. And we could cut it differently, so we could cut it like this. So cut here like that. So it's kind of like a, you know, could be a bit smaller, to be honest. So shrink it a bit. This whole thing could be a little bit taller, so maybe somewhere here. So looks a bit more aggressive. This could be wider because, you know, remember this is the the stock, so it could be a bit wider. So what we could do is simply extrude these faces out and scale them a bit like that to create an interesting shape. And sharpen, and this will create a chamfer here, which is fine, but something is not right, so let's fix this. Whoa. Just turn off box cutter. Box cutter doesn't like being, you know, doesn't like control in edit mode. I don't know why, but something weird happens over there, so be careful with it. This one's cool. This one we don't need it, so we can remove this, I think, or maybe not. Maybe let's keep it. Cool. Now there could be some kind of screws here or whatnot, like, you know, one here and let's say one here. So scroll it down till you have like two of them, or maybe one here, you know, and then, you know, maybe one here, something like that. So we can recall them and move them here like this, and recall this one and move here like this, and we can apply this and change this bevel size because it's insane, and we can just, you know, inset them a little bit like that, so it's gonna be more interesting. Cool. How it looks, yeah, it's alright. Can drop some screws there. Okay. Well, we're getting somewhere slowly. Right. Now this could be a bit thinner, so what we can do is let's create the mesh here. So add modifier, and not modifier, operations, and clean mesh. That's much better. And let's try this again, shall we? So draw it like this and X 3 times, and there we go. That's what I want. Awesome. That's much better. Cool. And now we're going to recover this cutter, and we're going to slice it a bit. So we don't really need these edges here where we do, because they support this cut inside. So what we're gonna do is cut it like this. Okay, so do something like this, and then V and X, and sort of create something like this here, Whoa. One more time. And V and X, Shift R. If it behaves weirdly, we can always reset this. What do you call this thing? Array by pressing Shift R. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like it. So let's sharpen this. So we're gonna clean this mess in here. So what we're gonna do is run an angle here like this, okay, or a box or whatever, like this, right? And press K, and simply remove this one and remove this edge here. We don't need it. Press W. This. Oh, come on. Not this one. Dissolve edges. That didn't work very well. One more time. This one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one. There we go. Much better. Okay, awesome. And just simply symmetrize it to the other side. So de-symmetry and boom. And here this bevel is mental, so let's just make it a bit smaller. Cool, cool, cool. Awesome. So let's save it. Alright. Nice. So that's where we are. This scope needs a bit of work because, you know, it's kind of boring. So let's just cut it here and enjoy our life, shall we? So let's enable box cutter and cut it here and sharpen. And Bob's your uncle. Let's turn off this X-ray and mark it sharp. That's better. And now we need to design the scope. The scope is Jesus Christ. It's a bit big. So maybe we can make it a bit more narrow. You need to select both, otherwise you're gonna have a bad day. So make it a little bit more narrow because I think it's just a bit too bulky. Maybe even a bit more. That'll do. Now we need some kind of, you know, it should move on this one, right? So we need kind of a rail here. So let's turn off this line box and let's create a rail here like this. And we're going to actually, that's pretty cool going through. I like that. So this would be, and this could be going through, and we would need to let's cut this here. So ever scroll and let's cut it here like this. Okay, so it actually doesn't go completely through. Right, that's good. And then apply this. So sharpen, and we need a respective sort of cut in here. So let's make it smaller and move it in. Let's just select two of them and go to bottom view and move it somewhere here in the middle, more or less, and scale it in. And we're gonna move it up here, scale it up, and difference. Okay, and move it up a bit so we can see it, and then sharpen. How it worked perfectly. Good, good, good. So, you know, it goes in, and so we can move this scope, you know, on this rail here a little bit. And we're just gonna create some kind of like a release thing, or release button or whatever on the side here, and press D for solidification and move it outside a bit because it's too deep. So come on, shift to local, shift to live, and move it outside here like that. And we're going to sharpen this and chamfer this one, and move this one a little bit in, and chamfer this one as well. And there you go. So you got this kind of a release button here, and we're going to symmetrize it, right? So you release it, you move it, and you adjust your scope. And there you go. This one could have a bit more of an interest here, so we could just, there could be some kind of a grip here, right? Because we do need a grip here, so we could just do something like this and press K for knife and slice it, and then shift curve extract like this, right? So then we could just slice it some more with a cut, so like that, so it's straight. Awesome. Sharpen, and then we could chamfer this, so we maintain this kind of you know, roundish theme, and GZ move it down, and then this one's gonna have to be, you know, round like that. But before we do that, we need to remove this edge here, so let's combine these faces. Okay, and combine these faces. Come on, F, right? And combine these faces, right? So, whoa. Man, box cutter and control is just going mental here. So F, F, and then we can chamfer this, okay? So select both, and I would unsharpen this and just do it without the sharpen, so kind of like that. So it's a bit more smooth to handle, you know, to carry it. I mean, to hold it, sorry. Select that, and come on, select this one and box cutter, and let's just simply V, and, you know, this many, right? K, and, whoa, okay then. V and K, and slice it. Here, macro this one more time. We need to reselect these, so reselect these one more time. EM macro is working with edges, not with faces, so you're gonna have to reselect it again. And I think this should work now, except that it doesn't, because we cannot have deselected. So one more time, deselect these with shift, and we're gonna do it on one side only, and simply, you know, symmetrize it. So SY, now you're talking. That's better. And, you know, sharpen, and then simply symmetrize it, right? Boom. And you got this kind of a handle here. So easy to grip. It's a bit vulgar, but what are you gonna do? Here we could just add some stock at the end. So select these, and all these maybe even, and shift the curve extract like this, and move it a little bit outside here like that. Okay, and then we can just, you know, slice it with a slash, so like this, and kind of with an angle like this, so it follows the angle here, right, like that. Sharpen this and select the middle faces, and we're going to insert them like that. Okay, and EY, and boom, and SY0, okay, GY, and move them in here. Okay, so something like this. We're gonna move this outside a little bit more, okay, and move this deeper. Apply weighted normals, and then we're going to create a cut in here like this. Okay, so B for bevel, and boom, and it's gonna be cut here like that. It needs to go inside, yeah. So what we need to do is select this one and curve extract it here, sharpen this, make it a bit bigger. Okay, so Shift S to Geo, make it a bit bigger. Well, that's a bit too big, so a bit smaller, a bit wider. Remove the bevel and weighted normals, okay, and then simply cut it in. Okay, difference, right? And there you go. There's your handle going inside of this shape here. What is going on here? We got some beef here, so we need to fix it. It's a bit too wide or a bit too narrow, see, because it kind of hot lines with the sides here, side faces. So what we're gonna do is have a scroll and move it just a little bit in like that until it calms down, or you could move it outside like that. Okay, either way works, but I think this one's gonna be a bit better, so we can just simply make this one a bit more narrow. Okay, like that, and everything's peachy. And this one could be, you know, wider, so GX and a bit wider, right? Or in fact, you could, you know, extrude it and scale it, which is gonna be pretty cool. GY and do something like this. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Select these and up to here. And let's see that. Let's remove the mark sharp and just simply, you know, bevel this so it's a bit more smooth. And copy to the other side. Alright guys, so let's finish this scope a bit and put some details in here. So what we could do is, let me think. We could grab all these, right, and, you know, insert them, like that, and then extrude it on Y. How this will look. Let's sharpen this. Too heavy. Not gonna do that. So what we're gonna do is cut something in here. So let's combine these faces into one, and let's remove that symmetry here because it annoys me. So let's go to front view and let's grab a box that's cool, and let's maybe split it into two. So something like this. Let's chamfer it. So let's stay with this kind of a, you know, chamfer squarish mode. Do this and T for solidification. Shift to live. With shift, we need to move it down a bit because you can see that it kind of clashes a bit here. So S, Z, and scale it a bit. And I think this should do. Sharpen this, and then we're gonna select this one and move it outside like that. Okay, and I think this should do. And we can move it a little bit further away, and we're gonna cut it now properly. So we could cut it either straight like this, or one simple angle cut. I'm not sure yet what I want to do here, to be honest. Maybe like this, you know. That's actually pretty cool. So let's grab that one and move it a little bit deeper, and then I'm gonna do is do this. So it's gonna kind of correspond with the top. Yeah. Cool, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then we're going to separate it by Control LP, and then we're gonna create some grooves in here as well. So the scope moves back and forth kind of thing. So, you know, maybe it's automated or whatnot. So it could be something like this. GX, move it outside here. And it's a bit too big, so GX, move it here. And we're gonna scale it on Z axis like this, and Y axis a bit like that. So it's actually a bit more readable. Sharpen it and copy to the other side. Select these and mark sharp. And now we need to create some kind of a screen here, right? So let's insert it in, extrude it in on Y, then insert it one more time, okay, and extrude it on Y like this, right? And sharpen, okay? So there's a screen kind of thing going on. And on top here could be some kind of a sensor or whatnot. So we could just do this and, you know, T, B, and we need to recall this and kind of move it in the middle. Sharpen this and, you know, sort of move it outside. Okay, and sharpen. And that's pretty cool. Yeah, I can stand with this one, so it kind of corresponds with this angle here. This one with this angle. Brilliant. Love it. We could have some cuts in here as well. So, or maybe even like this. Let's make 3 of them. going through, or almost through, kind of deep. Cool, cool, cool. Now you see that this one is set to weight, meaning these edges here are gonna get beveled. So what we want to do is remove these edges and resharpen everything on this piece, okay? So what you can do is go to Q and Shift Control click on Sharpen, which will remove all the sharp edges and recalculate them, and then they're gonna just be simply gone from here, which is what we want. Now then, what we're gonna do is select these two faces also. I'm gonna have to run a loop here because this loop here, it's asking for trouble. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. Select these three. Yeah, this one is not ideal either, guys. So let's do this here too. Okay, so weird. So what we're gonna do is simply press K and slice it with a knife. That took a while. Let's remove this one. Perfect. So select these faces now. Okay, turn off this box cutter because I can feel it. It's something gonna weird happen. Let's go to select and boundary loops, and we will need to remove these, okay, because we don't need these, right? We need these, and we don't need these, we don't need these. Okay, so deselect these, and we need these. All right, so we don't need these either. Okay, so we need only these around these holes here. So Control B, and you can hold Shift to slow it down. Scroll your mouse because I want to chamfer it. I don't want to bevel it, I want to chamfer it. Okay, and this bevel is bloody hell is insane. So let's make it just a little bit more smaller like this. There you go. Let's Alt X D and symmetry, and boom. Right, that's better. See now, because they chamfer, they're gonna basically read a bit better, so it's awesome. Hey, cool, cool, cool. Cut another, create another slice in here. So what we're gonna do is slices like this with a knife. So press K, and then what we're gonna do is select these both and simply EM macro and scale them in a bit and sharpen. And then we're going to make this bevel a bit smaller so it doesn't overshoot, and select these two and SY and scale them a bit on Y-axis so they can read a bit better here too. These ones you can create some kind of funky cuts here, so maybe we can grab an angle and do something like this, and not the camera, Jesus Christ, sharpen. There we go. Working. This is a bit too high. So see that situation here with this cutout? It's a bit dangerous, so let's do it again and run it through. Shift click, and then make sure that you're not overlapping this edge with this edge. We're gonna have a bad day. Okay, so now we can actually sharpen this. All right, cool, 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 awesome. Okay, all right. This one could be a bit more interesting as well. This could be something in here, to be honest. There could be a groove for this handle to be moved back and forth, so you can adjust it, so you can just cut the groove in here as well. Or we could cut this groove, along this edge, like this. So slice it through, and then go to front view and have a scroll and cut it like this. Boom. Right. And then simply, select this bit here in the bottom, sharpen, and sharpen, and we're done. Right. Cool. Okay. This handle also could be done a little bit better, so we could just simply Now if you're gonna do this one, it's not gonna work, so what we're gonna do is actually sharpen this, and then what we need to do is actually run Ngon here like this and press K for knife. Okay, so, and same here, right, like this. More dramatic, so one more time. Scroll, Control B, and then EM macro, and move your mouse to the left, and then we're going to make this bevel a little bit less crazy. This is going to reveal this thing underneath. Not ideal, so we need to control this a bit better, guys. Maybe something like this. There we go, that's better. So that's a handle, right? Which is pretty cool. This one's a bit too, you know, too out there. Also could be a little bit wider and possibly narrower here, maybe like this. Let me just apply this, sharpen this. There you go, and then scale it here. And in fact, this could be, you know, slightly beveled, okay, because it's a trigger after all. So we could Shift D this and make it wider or on x-axis, remove the bevel, right, and apply the mirror, remove the weighted normals, make it a bit taller, okay, but not tall, so tall that it's gonna cut the top bit, and simply difference. And now we're gonna have this kind of a indentation for a trigger, and this trigger here could be cut with an Ngon like this, so kind of goes inside here like that. Boom, sharpen, right? And this one needs to go a little bit lower, so ever scroll, because you see it's hotlining with the top, so it needs to go a little bit lower like this. Okay, and it needs to go a bit higher here, so like this, right? Perfect. And let's just drop this bevel a bit here so it's less insane. This one, come on. Bevel. There we go. Shift D. Boom. Okay, awesome. And well, this one is a bit boring here as well, so we could have some fun here also. This could be actually, you know, a magazine here somewhere on the top. Maybe this one could be a magazine, so we could separate this somehow. So P to its own selection, and we're gonna have to close the faces, so select these and press F, and select these two and press F, and then we're gonna have to select this one and close it as well, otherwise it's not gonna work. One more time, select these and F, and these two and F. There we go. And let me think how to do this. This was a clip, right? It needs to be a bit bigger, I think. Maybe somewhere here. And then, you know, this should be expanding this way, right? So E, cancel, Alt S, and move your mouse up like this. And G, and freely move it in here like this. Let's actually scale it on Z like that. So this clip gonna go inside here, and should be a little bit more narrow like this, right? Okay, so now we're gonna grab an Ngon and we're going to actually slice it like that, okay? And this one is gonna be kind of like a grip that you grip and you pull it out. So just macro this a little bit. It's gonna hotline a bit here with the bevel, so we can sharpen this and actually make the bevel a little bit smaller, so because it's mental. There you go, now it's working. This one needs to be aligned here, so select all these, select this, come on, Alt V top, okay, and here should be bottom. So select these SZ0 and, you know, even it up a bit. This one is a bit problematic, so we can fix it like this, simply combining these here. That's okay. Let's clean this with machine tools. Something is not right here, so let's see what's happening. Why this is not weighted normals? Nope. This one doesn't seem to be even for some reason. Maybe this one isn't. Alt A top, and I think we can remove this edge here. Maybe something is on manifold in here. Let me just check here. 3D print toolbox. Check all. Make manifold. Yeah, there is some shading issue here, which means this is not completely flat. Let's go here to global. Select the custom orientation and SZ0. And this one to SZ0. And now it's actually flat. Maybe that's what we're gonna do. And then what we can do is grab this one and move it in here like this. And this will work, okay? Cool. In fact, this could be straight, you know. This kind of actually looks pretty good. So this would be a clip basically, and you know, you could add some elements in here if you wanted to. These buggers could be actually, you know, beveled, so probably gonna be better. So combine these two into a face, right? And then simply, you know, run a bevel here. So click, control click, and actually run a bevel here. So let's remove the sharp edge and just run a bevel, so it's kind of smoother to grip. Kind of makes sense, if you know what I mean. So you grip it out and you pull it. There could be some kind of release button in here as well, so we could simply add it by running a box in this, or maybe it could be like this. There's kind of a button here, boom, right, and then B and T, and move it outside a bit. So GX, move it in here. And we're gonna get this kind of a button here, so sharpen this and move this one inside, maybe like this. So it kind of indicates, you know, some kind of a button that you press and you release this. Okay, cool. We could have some, you know, screws here, maybe one here, and I don't know, another one here. Maybe not going through, that's not the best idea. So scroll, ever scroll, and move it out like this. Here the same, ever scroll and move it outside like this. It's still going through, right? So that kind of shallow and sharpen, and weighted normals. So we're just gonna simply add screws in here, which is fine. Then you can add screws in this one, you know, like here, and press V, or, you know, just add another one here. Preferably slightly smaller, so Shift X and just scale it a little bit and move it outside. Same here, move it outside. Right, let me just see this and sharpen. Cool. It could be something a bit more interesting here as well. We could just do something like this. I think it's gonna be a bit more kind of, you know, fun. This one could be sliced a bit more, maybe. Could be something here connecting to Maybe let's split this one. So go to edge mode and select this edge and Control B and split it like this. It's not gonna work very well here, but to be honest, we don't really need these. Okay, so dissolve it, and then grab this one and insert it like this, right? And we can sort of, you know, move it in here like that. Okay, just for fun, and you know, sharpen it, right? And this one, you know, this one doesn't really need to exist, so it's okay. And with this thing, we can, you know, we can cut it, right? And then we can do something like this as well here. B and there you go, sharpen. So it kind of goes inside. It's a bit more interesting. This is flipped. You see that? This is actually flipped geo. Alt V, face orientation, boom. So in this situation, what you need to do is Alt N and flip, and everything's gonna be peachy. Alt V and remove it. That's with machine tools as well. If you don't have it, which you really should, just go here, face orientation. Alt V is a hard ops menu. Here, this one we could chamfer this as well here a little bit like that. So it's a bit less, you know, kind of poking. That's a bit more interesting. This face here is also crooked. You see that? This one here. This is not straight. So what I'm thinking is that what we need to do is move these a little bit here and this one a bit more to make this face more or less straight. Okay, so and Alt X, D symmetry and symmetrize to the other side, and we're good to go. Okay, cool. This one got removed, so mark it sharp. Mark it sharp. In fact, the whole thing should be marked sharp. What's going on here? Oh, Jesus. What's this? Let's remove this, and this is all marked sharp. Perfect. Alt X, symmetry to the other side. Sorted. Let's save it. And I think we're done. Now this one could be a little bit more interesting here as well. So what we could do is cut some wedges. So, you know, go to object mode and let's go with nearest edge. Let's see if it's gonna work. No, it doesn't. So let's go with the longest edge and let's see if it works. It doesn't. So let's go with the line box and do something like this and cut it in and wedge it like this. Okay. So sharpen and select these two and sharpen. And this is not, I think, weight based, so let's switch to weight, otherwise it's not gonna be visible. So that's that. And we could actually, you know, GG and make it a bit more interesting, do something like this, and GG and do something like this. It's a bit more curious. This is cool. There could be another screw in here just to, you know, add something. So another screw. All right, but maybe a bit more big. So just make it bigger and move it in here and GX and sharpen. Okay, awesome. We could have some screws in here, whatnot. So another one somewhere here. Now you gotta be careful how you place details, okay? If I place this screw in the middle here, it's gonna be a mess, okay? It's much better if the detail is gonna be kind of grouped up. So I think what I'm gonna do is put a screw in here, but maybe bigger one, okay, like this. And let's recall this. I have a scroll. Let's make it a bit bigger, okay? So kind of like that. Right? Put it in here. See, this is gonna look much better than if the screws here. It's a mess. You see, it's just like there's no place to rest your eyes. This is much better, and this space is kind of, you know, empty, which looks pretty good. Okay, so that's that. I'm not quite sure about this screw in here, but you know, whatever. This one could be, you know, could have some screws as well, so we could have just, you know, tiny ones, like this, V, and move them on, not C, one more time, V and X, and move them here on the other axes. So some are here, that will do, and E extruded inwards, and you know, we're done. So it's too deep, so let's just recall this, and this will do, and sharpen, right? And I think we are good, guys. We are good. We could have something on top as well, just for fun. So what we could do is go to front view and select this, right? And cut in here. So D box, and slice this one here, and move this cut a little bit out. So not bevel, ever scroll, move it on y-axis outside, so it doesn't cut in here, right? And then what we're gonna do is SX, scale this a little bit on top, go to the top view, right, like this, and we're going to cut it inside like this, okay, with V. So in fact, you know what, better idea, let's solidify this. So we're gonna do is solidify this one, okay, a little bit like that. Then we're going to apply this sharpen here, and then we're going to separate this one. So Control LP, and we're going to move the top of this, okay, a bit up, right? So insert it a bit like this, and then E, scale it, and SX, scale it on X. So it's gonna be something like this. And then we're gonna create tiny cuts on this one, okay? So V, Shift R to reset it, there we go. And, you know, add some, what you call them? Have a scroll, add some array. So go to array settings and simply add a count to maybe, I don't know, that many. And let's grab this and let's see how we look in here. We're looking pretty good, so let's sharpen this one, and it's gonna get beveled and everything, so everything is good. Shift 2 and we're good to go. And here on the front we could just drop some cuts, so you know, maybe cut here and sort of Alt X and symmetrize it. If it doesn't work, press X and mirror it. There we go, that's better, and we should be fine. We could cut this one here as well in the front, just for fun, and sharpen it. There we go. Alright guys, I think we're done, and this is it. This could be some screws in here as well if you wanted to, or even some kind of a, you know, some kind of a cut like this going through, right? And I think we're PG. Alright guys, well, that's it for this tutorial, I think. Hope you enjoyed it. Oh my god, there's a mess in here. We need to clean it up, guys. Hang on. What the hell is this? There's 3 to clean it. That didn't work. Ay, chihuahua, this is ugly. Okay, we need to fix this. What is going on here? Boolean in here that is accidental. Let's remove it. There we go. That was weird. In fact, what we could do is select this entire edge and sort of sharpen it, you know, or I mean chamfer it so it's not so kind of sharp, if you know what I mean. So just turn off the box cutter, select all of it here around, and simply chamfer it a bit like this. You see, there's gonna be a bit of a beef here on the bottom, but we can fix it. Just move it a little bit here, and it should be fine. And then we can just mirror this to the other side. So when you look from this side, it's not so sharp. In fact, this bevel is insane, so we can just make it smaller. There you go. And you know, mirror to the other side. That didn't work because we need to enable mirror D, symmetry, symmetry mirror, beautiful, everything is peachy. And this could be combined here, connected, I mean. Not this one, J, there we go. And this should be marked sharp as well. And this should be changed from angle to weight, so this will get caught in the bevel situation. Okay, now it's cool. All right, awesome. All right, guys, well, that's it. Thanks again. Catch you next video.